I go to Walt Disney World multiple times per week, and these are my favorite things at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Hello my lovely humans, I'm Kenzie, and today we are at Disney's Animal Kingdom, and I'm going to show you all of my favorite things. As I mentioned, I come to Walt Disney World multiple times per week, and I've had the privilege of riding every single attraction, seeing every show, and doing everything there is to do at Disney's Animal Kingdom multiple times. So I'd like to pay that forward by sharing some of my favorite things with all of you so you know what to prioritize and look out for during your trips. So let's go have a wild day. To make today even more fun, we are going to go land by land, and I'm going to share my favorite things in each of those lands with each of you. I hope that helps you stay organized a little bit better and give you a mental picture of the park if you've never been here before. Some things at Disney's Animal Kingdom do close early, so it's really important to keep that in mind if you are trying to prioritize some of those things for your trips. One thing to keep in mind are the shows. There are show times that are posted in the app for those shows. Obviously, they only run at those times and only certain times throughout the day. They also usually stop around like 4 or 5 o'clock. So again, the park usually closes pretty early because that's just what Disney's Animal Kingdom is kind of known for. Usually it closes around 7 or 8, depending on the time of year. But if you do want to see the shows, make sure you prioritize those. Some other things that close early are the Maharaja Jungle Trek and the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. Those are both trails where you can see various different animals. They are a lot of fun, and I will be showcasing them today, but do keep in mind that they close early. Another thing that closes early at Disney's Animal Kingdom is Kilimanjaro Safari, so make sure you keep that in mind as well. When you first enter Disney's Animal Kingdom, you enter into a land called the Oasis. There are pathways on either side that wind up into the entrance of the park, and they have several different animals along the path. A lot of people just scurry and hurry right past this, but there are several really cute animals that you can see along the way if you take some time to pause and explore. One of my personal favorites that does fall on my favorites things list is the anteater. So definitely try to see them if you have the opportunity. There is also Rainforest Cafe and a small gift shop in the Oasis area. There are many of my favorite things located in Discovery Island, and to be honest, it was really hard to narrow them down to my top favorites. There are 4 top favorite things that I'm going to share with you, and I will also call out some honorable mentions. Let's start with the honorable mentions. The first thing is Minnie and Mickey's Adventure Outpost, where you can meet Minnie and Mickey in their safari outfits. Another one that tends to traumatize kids is It's Tough to Be a Bug. That is a 3D show, but the bugs are massive and they come flying down from the ceiling, and they also attack the audience. And so it's one of those shows that does traumatize kids unexpectedly. So definitely something to note if you do have little ones that you are bringing to the park. You also can find amazing views of the Tree of Life throughout this area, and there are a lot of hidden trails that most people just walk right past without knowing they're there. So let's take some time to explore, and I will definitely call out all of my top favorite things along the way. The Discovery Island Trails is on my favorite things list, and the reason for that is because you get beautiful views of the Tree of Life, which is also one of the top things on my favorite things list. The Tree of Life is the park's icon, and it is truly just a stunning feat. There are over 300 hand-carved animals on the Tree of Life. There are over 8,000 branches, and there are over 102,000 leaves that were all made by hand. One interesting fact about the Tree of Life is there is a backstory, just like there is for everything with Disney, and you can see that in an ant carving. That was the first animal that planted the seed for the Tree of Life in hopes that it would bring other animals to the area. The ant's dream came true, and it did bring other animals to the area with a lot of different shade, and all the animals came to a watering hole to drink from the water, and the different animals were captured by their likeness of their shadow and put onto the Tree of Life. So that's the backstory behind the Tree of Life, which is super fun and interesting if you ask me. Did you know that Disney's Animal Kingdom also has the backside of water? One honorable mention in Discovery Island is Creature Comforts, which is where you can find the Starbucks location at Animal Kingdom. Usually they are also running some kind of fundraising special where if you order a certain drink, it will donate back to a conservation fund for the animals, and usually it's the flat white, so be sure to ask about that or order that drink if you're interested in doing that. Definitely does feel good to be able to do that in Disney's Animal Kingdom, so I absolutely love that Disney does that. Another one of my favorite things in Discovery Island are the tortoises. They are seriously so cute and we always make time to see them. I'm not sure what it is about them, just something about how they move so slow and just their cute little faces. I just love everything about them. This time we actually ran into a cast member who told us a bunch of different facts about the tortoises, which is always super fun. So if you ever see cast members feeding the animals, feel free to stop and talk to them. They can share plenty of interesting facts with you. The interesting thing about the tortoises right now at Disney's Animal Kingdom is that they are young because they are only around 10 years old. In fact, their 10th birthday this year, they got a custom-built birthday cake that was, of course, nutritious and safe for them, made from things like sweet potatoes and other vegetables that was safe for them to eat. Their nutrition also impacts their shell shape, which we learned. There was one that had a little bit of a pointy shell, and we learned that that one actually had too much nutrition. The ones that Disney's Animal Kingdom currently has is around 250 pounds, but they can get up to 500 pounds, which is definitely really wild. And they think that they can live to about 300 years, but no one really knows that for sure. But Disney themselves have had tortoises live up to 100 years, which is pretty fascinating if you ask me. One of my top favorite things is Tiffin's. It is a restaurant that you do need reservations for, so be sure to reserve those in advance if you are interested in eating at Tiffin's. It is definitely a nicer meal that is nothing like theme park food, and you won't regret eating here. I will say though that if you have very picky eaters or people that aren't as adventurous, you may want to skip it, so be sure to check out the menu in advance to make sure that it is okay for you. I will say though that I am a picky eater and I'm not really out there when it comes to food choices, but I did give Tiffin's a chance and I'm so glad that I did because the food is truly amazing. There's different themes in different rooms too, so be sure to ask the cast member more to hear about the different stories of each of the rooms that you can sit in. And if you're seated in one, be sure to walk around and explore the other ones so that you can see what they look like as well. It's actually connected to Nomad Lounge, which is usually just a walk-up list kind of situation, which you can do through the My Disney Experience app, or you can just walk up to the hostess to join the walk-up list, and you have 5 minutes to come back after they call you. The length of time obviously varies depending on when you join the list, and it fluctuates throughout the day, but you do need to be kind of close by and fit it into your plans that way because they give you such a short window to return. But Nomad Lounge is a great spot just to sit and have a drink or eat the gluten-free churros, which is one of my all-time favorite things, so be sure to check those out even if you're not gluten-free. They're the best churros on Disney property at Walt Disney World, so they are definitely worth eating. We are currently in the Asia section of the park, and there are 2 favorite things in this area that I want to share with all of you, so let's go explore. One of my favorite things in Asia is Expedition Everest. This is a roller coaster type attraction and it is quite thrilling for the type of attractions that you do find at Disney. It's a lot of fun for a variety of different reasons, but one of my favorite things about it is all of the details and care that you can tell that the Imagineers put both into the queue and the attraction itself. And the story is just truly amazing. You see it from beginning to end. It's an original story. It's not based upon IP at all. In fact, the Imagineers traveled to Asia and Mount Everest to not only collect artifacts to bring back to put in the queue, but also just to learn more about the mystic Yeti as well. So it is a very cool attraction. I highly recommend that you experience it if you are looking for more of a thrill type attraction in Asia. One cool thing about the queue is you will see this really big Yeti footprint at one point, and that is actually a mold of the animatronic Yeti that can be found in the attraction. It is really that big, which is crazy to think about and is truly amazing and an Imagineering feat. So be sure to enjoy that detail in the queue as well. So as you can see, Expedition Everest is a lot of fun. It is definitely a little bit rickety and bumpy, as you could probably tell from that footage. So I would say the thrill level is probably a little bit high and definitely could scare some little ones. There is a height requirement for this roller coaster of 44 inches or taller, so definitely keep that in mind. There is rider switch available if needed, if you have 2 adults with you and a child that does not want to ride or does not meet the height requirements, so that's definitely an option as well. The wait time for this attraction is generally pretty low. You can usually catch it 20 minutes or less at some point, if not multiple points throughout the day. So if you ever see it higher than that, it's usually best to wait so that you can just kind of walk right on. Although I will say it is nice to have some extra time in that queue because there are so many amazing details to appreciate. So, do you think the Yeti is real? Let me know in the comments below. Another favorite thing in Asia is the Maharaja jungle trek. I will say this is both a favorite and sort of a nightmare for me. The reason why it's a favorite is because you can see the tigers, which are definitely the showcase of this trail. There are other cool animals you can see along the way, including bats and dragons. So definitely be sure to check it out. It is really fun to just see the various different animals and the beautiful theming that the Imagineers put into the trail itself as well. The reason why it's a little bit more of a nightmare for me personally is because there is a bird part where they basically just like have you in this netted cage and the birds will just fly around willy-nilly, and there's one with red eyes that decided that it was going to come straight for me the last time we did this trail, and it was absolutely terrifying seeing a red-eyed bird, just this massive bird, come straight for me. The cast members thought it was funny. I did not, but I do now that it's over. So anyway, hopefully that doesn't happen again. I'm a little bit traumatized after that whole experience, so we will see.
It's right there.
Hi. Hey, what's up? Tiger. Come here.
One thing I really love about Animal Kingdom is the theming. Everywhere you look is very much special to the land that it's representing. So everything you see here is just like walking around somewhere in Asia. The Imagineers went on various trips throughout Asia and other countries that you can find in Animal Kingdom, and you can see all sorts of different details represented. So, for example, even things like the restroom signs are themed and the drink stands are themed, and it's pretty amazing just how much love and care goes into this park. It's definitely one of my favorite things because it is truly unique in terms of the theme park. One honorable mention in this area are the Russell and Doug statues from the movie Up. Of course, if you've seen the movie, you know who Russell and Doug are, but they are super cute, and it's amazing to be able to come over and appreciate these beautiful statues and take a picture. I have just met you and I love you. Don't worry, I love you too. A lot of people do try to skip Animal Kingdom because they think that it is a zoo. And so when Disney originally opened Animal Kingdom, they actually had a marketing campaign called Not a Zoo, where they basically had different cast members show the different attractions that were originally included in Disney's Animal Kingdom, and different cast members said not a zoo. They basically created their own word, which is pretty funny. But even today, a lot of people will skip Animal Kingdom because they think that it's just a zoo. But it's not. There's plenty of attractions, and the attention to detail is higher than any of the other Disney theme parks at Walt Disney World, and I highly recommend that you come and experience it, and please do not skip it. We are now in Africa, and there are 3 top favorite things in this land that I'm super excited to show you. So let's go see some of my favorite things. One of my top favorite things can be found in the Africa section of the park, and that is Festival of the Lion King. This is a Broadway style quality show, and I don't say that lightly. It really is Broadway quality. It is truly amazing what Disney Entertainment can do, and this is Disney Entertainment at its finest. It is a 40-minute show that obviously celebrates the Festival of the Lion King. There are puppets, there are performers, there's lots of singing. It's probably going to make you cry, so just be prepared emotionally for that. But it's an amazing show. There are different show times throughout the day, which you can find in front of the theater as well as in your My Disney Experience app. I would say that the ones in the morning do tend to be a little bit more crowded than the ones later in the day. You don't usually have to line up well in advance of the show, but do keep in mind that it does get full sometimes, especially if it's a more crowded park day. So just rather be safe than sorry and get here a little bit beforehand, just so that you don't miss out on this amazing show. There are so many small details to appreciate in Disney's Animal Kingdom. Here's an example of something you probably walked by a million times if you've been here multiple times. The posters behind me actually are showcasing things that are in Disney's Animal Kingdom. So for example, you can see Festival of the Lion King poster here, and even over here, you can see Tusker House, which is a restaurant here at Disney's Animal Kingdom. So definitely keep your eyes peeled and pay attention, because everything is intentional in this park and it's truly remarkable and amazing. There's nothing like it anywhere else. One of my top favorite things to do in Africa is Kilimanjaro Safari. As the name suggests, it is a safari, and you truly do feel like you're going through a safari in Africa in a safari vehicle. It is amazing to be able to see all of the different animals in what kind of appears as more natural habitats. Granted, there are some invisible barriers that you can't really see unless you know where to look, that actually separates the exhibits for safety and also for safety of the guests as well. But you do get to see some pretty amazing animals. The attraction itself does take 22 minutes, so be sure to use the restroom or anything like that before you get in line and actually go on the experience. One thing that I really love about the safaris as well is every single time you ride it, you get a different experience. You never know what animals will be out, which ones will be hiding, who you'll see, who you don't, but every time you experience it, you get something a little bit different, which is pretty great if you ask me. We've noticed that when the weather is a little bit cooler, the animals do tend to be out a little bit more. If it's raining, they're usually all hiding, so that's usually not a great time to go. And in the morning, when things are a little bit cooler, usually more animals are out. So I do suggest trying to do this in the first half of the day. It does close at sunset, so keep that in mind time-wise as well to make sure you prioritize it before it closes for the day. One of my favorite things in this area is the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail, so it definitely goes on my favorite things list. I honestly like this trail significantly better than the Maharaja Jungle Trail, so if you are trying to choose between the two, I would choose this one. The highlight of this one, of course, is the gorillas. They are so fun to watch, they're so playful, and they're just gonna make you laugh and smile. The first enclosure that you see with the glass is actually all females and younger kids. One interesting fact that we did learn is the reason why the gorillas have their backs against the glass is because there is an air conditioning unit right above them. And so they like that to be able to cool off in the hotter temperatures. It is very common though for their backs to be towards the crowd, which I think is kind of funny. They just don't want to be filmed or watched all the time, which I completely understand, of course. They also get plenty of snacks, which encourages them to come closer to the glass as well. As you continue down the trail, you will get to see the male alpha gorillas. They do separate them on purpose for safety reasons primarily, but also because in the wild, that's essentially what does happen with them over time. And so you can see the alphas kind of roughing it up with each other a little bit more, being more playful, sometimes fighting with each other. And it is kind of crazy just how many human characteristics they have. I think that's what makes it so cool, but I could honestly sit and watch these gorillas all day. They're just so fun to watch, so be sure to check it out. You won't regret it. I have one favorite thing in Dino Land USA, and my one thing actually might surprise you because unless you're looking at a park map, you might not even realize it's in Dino Land USA. If you haven't been to Disney's Animal Kingdom ever or in a while, you may or may not know that Dino Land USA is definitely in need of some love. Stuck in the past a little bit, although there are some fan favorites in this land. If you have never been before, you're probably not going to be super impressed with the offerings, just as an FYI. There are some honorable mentions that I will mention along the way. It's also important to note that the meet and greet for Moana is right before you enter Dino Land USA. You can meet her both at Animal Kingdom and at Epcot, so pay attention to those times if that's something that's important to you during your trip. One honorable mention in Dino Land USA is the Boneyard. This is a really fun play area for kids where they can channel their inner archaeologist, slide on sides, and just have a good time and get some energy out. My number one attraction in Dino Land USA is Finding Nemo and the Big Blue Beyond. This might be a little bit surprising to you for a variety of different reasons, the first of which is that it is technically located in Dino Land USA. If you look on the map, it says that it is in the land, but technically it sort of feels like it's just outside of the land, just for your awareness. There are certain show times throughout the day, and they do not go until the end of the day, so just keep that in mind to prioritize the show while it's still running if it is important to you. It is 22 minutes long, so it is a little bit long, but it is absolutely worth it. It is Broadway style quality. The performers are amazing, and they also have life-size puppets for the show as well. It is a retelling of Finding Nemo and a little bit of Finding Dory. It's kind of a mashup situation, but it is top-notch performance. It will probably make you cry, so yeah, I definitely recommend that you prioritize this show and enjoy it as well. The entertainment at Disney's Animal Kingdom is top-notch. Not only the shows, but in various different lands, there's also live entertainment that you can find throughout the day. There are some fantastic drummers in Africa. You'll also find some others playing instruments in the Africa section, and you'll even see some performers right outside of Dino Land USA for some examples, but definitely keep your ears open and follow the sound, because it's definitely worth checking out the live performers while you're here. I will also say that this is one of my favorite walkways. It's the back entrance to Pandora, World of Avatar, and it's not as commonly known or used, and it feels kind of secretive, which I like, and it is also very beautiful. So definitely check out the back entrance as well as the front entrance to Pandora. We are currently in Pandora, which is one of my all-time favorite lands in any theme park at Walt Disney World. It is truly remarkable. All the details are really stunning. It's themed after the Avatar film series, and James Cameron actually worked very closely with Walt Disney Imagineering to make his vision come to life, and you really do feel like you've stepped straight into one of his films. It's absolutely remarkable, and there's so much storytelling in this land as well. I would love to do a hidden facts and secrets video for you if you're interested, just to share some of my favorite details and storytelling elements that you might miss if you don't know the backstory. So let me know if you'd be interested in that in the comments below. So Tule Canteen is definitely a top favorite in Avatar. It is a quick service restaurant, so you don't need any reservations. You can also mobile order on your app, which is really a smart decision because this restaurant is really popular during peak hours. Right now, it is not peak hours, which is why it's a little bit quieter in here. They won't let you enter until your mobile order is ready, so just keep that in mind and prepare to wait outside if necessary. The reason why it's so popular is because it's a healthier option, which is really rare for a theme park, even at Disney. Sometimes healthier options are hard to find. They have amazing bowls with rice and beans and slaw and meat and all sorts of things. In a lot of ways, I kind of feel like it is a fancier version of Chipotle. It's really good, so definitely be sure to check it out. If you are gluten-free, there is also a dark chocolate mousse that is gluten-friendly, and I highly recommend getting it. It is truly what dreams are made of. Flight of Passage is by far my favorite attraction in all of Pandora. Granted, there are only 2 attractions here, but there is definitely a lot to appreciate. So the fact that it made the favorites list is definitely saying something. It is a thrill attraction and you must be at least 44 inches or taller to experience it, so keep that in mind. It is technically a 3D experience, but Disney definitely outdoes themselves. It's not like a typical 3D attraction like you'd find at Universal or anything like that. All your senses are involved. All 5 senses are definitely heightened throughout the experience. They are telling you a story from beginning to end. The queue itself is an attraction. There are so many little details to appreciate, and you can fully understand a little bit more about Pandora and your experience before actually getting on the attraction. The lab scene has so many hidden secrets, Easter eggs, and details for you to appreciate. You can't beat the floating avatar as well, and just the whole queue will keep you immersed. The attraction itself is just amazing. You can feel the banshee that you are riding, living and breathing throughout the experience. So what do you say? Should we fly? We just got off of Flight of Passage, and when we got in the queue, the posted wait time was 60 minutes. Honestly, that's usually pretty good for Flight of Passage because it is a very popular attraction, probably the most popular attraction in all of Disney's Animal Kingdom, sometimes even in all of Walt Disney World, according to the wait time. When we were in line though, the line was moving really slowly, and we opened the app and we realized that it actually increased to 170 minutes, which is insane. That's about the time we waited when the attraction first opened, and we came in the first 3 weeks of the opening. We waited around 3 or 4 hours, so that was kind of a crazy wait time to see. We later found out that some of the screens actually went down for the attraction, and that's why it was moving so slowly. But hey, I had to get footage for all of you because it is one of my favorites, so I definitely pulled out my patience for all of you. When you exit the attraction, you'll notice 3 red handprints on the wall that kind of serve as end credits of 3 very important and pivotal people to this land. And one, it has the initials of JL, that stands for John Landau, and he is a producer for Avatar. You will see JC, which stands for James Cameron, and of course he is the director and creator of Avatar. And for me, most importantly, you'll see JR, my favorite Disney Imagineer, Joe Rohde. He is the lead Imagineer for all of Disney's Animal Kingdom, and of course led as the lead Imagineer for Pandora as well. He's a brilliant man, and we have so much to be thankful for him because he created a lot of the things that we know and love as Disney fans. One of my favorite things in Pandora is the bioluminescence that you see at nighttime. Unfortunately, sometimes Disney's Animal Kingdom closes too early and you aren't able to experience this. But if you come during a time of year where the sun sets early or the park is open a little bit later and it's after it's dark, then you definitely want to come to Pandora and experience it at night. I also think you should experience it during the day, so I definitely think it's worth 2 visits during your trip to see it during the day and at nighttime. Another one of my favorite things are the nighttime tree awakenings at Disney's Animal Kingdom. They don't do them all year. You have to be lucky enough again for the parks to be open late enough for them to happen, and they definitely do holiday versions if you're here during Christmas, which is super cool. It's truly amazing. I have no clue how the Imagineers are able to do the projection mapping, but it's remarkable and you definitely need to check it out. Thanks for spending the day with me at Disney's Animal Kingdom. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of my favorite things, and hopefully you have a better idea of what you want to do on your next trip. I'm really curious though if you've been here before, if your favorite things are the same as mine or if they're different, so let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so that you'll see more videos like this in the future. Until next time, I'm Kenzie. See you real soon.